Hi and welcome, I'm Peter Vaughan. And you can find me, the numerologist, www.petervaughan.net or www.numerology.net and get yourself your predictions. I'm talking this particular segment about predictions to show you what I can do and what I have done, and these things are logged on my website. Just to give you an idea about predictions, when you do numerology, as I've done for over 30 years, you start to get a good handle on it. You start to understand a lot about how people tick, how things work in life, what their names and what their birth dates can do for them. And I've made this graph. This graph is very much like the movie The Matrix, when you see the green numbers and codes that come down the screens in that movie, which was really quite an epic. And they show that they can read things by these patterns of numbers. Well, the charts I look at that I've created myself have got these patterns on them that I'm able to read in anywhere in a person's life, from the time that they're born to whenever in the future. But predictions, one day I was asked by one of New Zealand's television networks, TV1, if I'd please give them some predictions. And so they came to my home and we did some predictions, and I said, what would you like to know about? And they asked me a few questions. For example, this was in 2004. And they said, oh, can you tell us about the royals? Down at Buck Palace, as they called it, Buckingham Palace. And what I did for them was I had Charlie's numbers, I had Harry and William's numbers, and what I did was I said, well, I don't know what it is exactly, but I can see a major event coming up, and this event is going to take place in April of 2005. So 2005, April. At that particular time, I said it would be a big surprise. It would affect the entire royal family somehow, but watch this space, because I didn't know what it was. Well, the time came and the time went, and about 2 months prior to the April when I picked it up, it was a big secret, all right. Charlie was going to marry Camilla. So that was a marriage. And certainly it affected the entire royal family. But the other aspect of the surprise was, that came out of the blue that they didn't know about, or I knew something was happening but I didn't know what it was, the Pope died, Pope John Paul II. And it caused the entire wedding to be shifted over whilst the Pope's wedding procession was going through at that particular time. So that's a prediction. There was also Oprah Winfrey. Now, 3 years ago, almost to the day, I had a prediction about Oprah Winfrey. I saw in her chart and I looked at it and wow, major event, a major change is coming up in her life in 3 years' time. So the change was almost like a change in career, a change in model of somehow. Now, I put the story up and published it on my website, petervaughan.net, and you can still find that there today if you dial in the search engine Oprah. When I did this, 5 weeks later after publication of that particular thing, an American friend of mine called me up and says, Peter, did you see what was on the front cover of the National Enquirer? Well, I don't normally get that magazine, I don't think it's very often published here, but the magazine had on the front cover, Oprah Winfrey dead in 3 years' time. Now, I never said dead, I just saw a major change in her life. And that's when she went from her TV network that she's been doing for a long time to OWN, O-W-N, Oprah Winfrey Network. So at the almost the exact timing, and I really mean the exact timing, Oprah changed her from the Oprah Winfrey Show to her own network. And that has just taken place. Now, that when I was predicted that 3 years ago, you have to wonder how I knew the exact timing. Is that all? No. On the 4th of January 2009, Jet Travolta. He died. It was quite a sad time for a lot of people, especially for John Travolta and his wife. But the child, he still died. And I wrote a story a little bit about Jet on that particular website editorial that I did, because it was just talking about the child's condition. As I finished off that editorial, I said John would have a new family edition by the end of 2010. and that took place. Now that was a 2-year prediction. John Travolta at the time was 55, 56 years of age, and he had another child. You might say, oh, that was just coincidence, he would have had a child anyway. Do you think so? After losing a child who he had with special needs, to have yet another one? Well, irrespective of that, these are things that I made definite predictions on that have come to pass. So we're talking about people here, but what about other things? What about people who are making predictions on things like the share market or the trading markets? Now, this is an interesting one in itself. Whoops. I've been working with a particular client and his partner. And this particular partner was talking to me about the problems they were having, and that's okay, they were just having a lover's wrangle. But this person also had shares in a company called Plus SMS Holdings Limited. And this particular company was going up in the marketplace. Their share trading started at about 20 cents. It was climbing up here, and this person here had entered approximately over 300,000 into it. At this particular point here, he was told by his broker to invest more because it was going up from 20 cents to 81 cents to $1.20 any time now. At this particular point, I told this person here, that's not working, and that's going to collapse. What's going to happen, in effect, is at this point it was going to go like this. And I gave this timing here to be around about the August, September of the following year. As this rose up and as the Christmas period, as this company was rising, it got to this point and it started to shallow off. And I told this fellow here to get out, to get out, to get out. He kept being told by his advisor it was going to go up again. This guy did not get out. But I had another friend who was also mentioned in our conversation that he just invested in something. I said, what did you invest in? He said, oh, something called Plus. I said, not Plus SMS Holdings. He said, yeah, why? I said, get out, it's falling over. This person invested $48,000 at this level here because his broker said it was going to go up. He got out and lost $8,000 over 2 days. It went down to about 6 cents and now it's gone below the barrel and it's gone. This is a prediction. How do I do this? Because I can work with a company's name and its incorporation date and the style of business it's in. When you start to understand how patterns go in people's lives and in company formation type lives, you can see what the challenge is and the track record of what's coming up ahead. Does this make me an investment market guru? No, it doesn't. What it means is I have a love or an enjoyment of seeing patterns and tracking people's lives and their money to help them overcome major losses. This is a very rewarding career for me when you look at what I can do for people. Share market. Most people will tell you that the share market for predictions is based on this thing. Emotion, and it is. A company does not have an emotion. Companies are an entity that are looked after by its directors. It's their job to manage it, like managing a child. And the problem is here, it's not the company that has the emotion, it's the shareholder. Whether it be 1 or 1,000, it doesn't matter. Finding out these particular things when something goes wrong, I have a way of identifying whether something should be or shouldn't be got into. And one final thing on the predictions of the share market, I was asked back in 2008, or just in 2007, 2008, around that December, January period, if I would look at a portfolio of a company called Fidelity Fund in the States. Now there was a whole pile of these particular investment opportunities that were given to me to assess under this one portfolio. It took me about a month to go through the whole lot. There was quite a few. But when I finished, I went back to the person who asked me for this particular advice And what did you think? And I said, get out. Not get out, but I would be getting out, because 80% of these companies in that folder showed a loss around August and September of that year, of 2008. Well, there was a way in which this person was going to do a deal, which would have been quite good had they done that, to go to the States, to actually talk to these people and to cause them to take some of their money that was transferable funds into the bank. That would cause if the market should drop over here, that the money would stay stable in the bank. So if this dropped 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, this money was saved. All we wanted was the cream off the top to say we'd take a percentage off the savings of what dropped. Well, it would have been nice, because I would have earned $600 million had they done that. I wasn't aware of what took place because I wasn't a share market trader at that time. I had just done this job. This is the share market crash of 2008. Basically at that time, Russia was in financial debt and just said basically we're not paying the world back what was happening to all the creditors that they owed at that time. And there was a massive $3 trillion market crash. I didn't realise it, but I had actually overcome or beat the Black-Scholes formula. Myron Scholes, for example, got the Nobel Prize for working out the price of an option at any particular point in time. And their formula, which took a lot to do, was something that I whipped by looking at the sort of problem that I found out for my friend here who wanted to know about the Fidelity Fund. Predictions aren't hard if you know how and what to look for, but this is something which has been overlooked by many people out there. And numerology, especially my type of numerology, which I've done research in here, picks this up quite clearly. So, can I predict something for you in your life? Absolutely. Just remember this, you are here. It is now. I don't care when you are viewing this particular tape, but as you're looking at this, from where you are now, you actually have a future. And if there's a prediction here of a gold mine waiting for you, the love of your life waiting for you, a massive pit that you could fall into if you didn't know how to build a bridge across it, waiting for you. These are points that I am able to predict into your future, and I can prove it. I prove it by actually going back into your past and finding out when things happened and at what time. Now, if I can do that for you, and I have done this for many people, I help you overcome what could be coming up in the future that will benefit from or avoid happening. That's what predictions and numerology can be done by me is all about. Again, go to petervaughan.net and have a look. Numerology.net will lead you to the same site. It'll help you actually understand how I work with these predictions. You never know, you might want to become a numerologist. I even train people just like you across the web. Welcome to Peter Vaughan's World of Numerology, and thank you.